For the record, Erica Julian appearing on behalf of Holly Brown. Holly, state your name. Holly Brown.
Okay. We've seen her bond violation report.
Yes, Your Honor. And and she provided a letter to the court. I'm not sure if you were. I have another copy, Judge.
Is that with?
I had provided it to your staff with the file as it was going back, but I'm not sure whether.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, there.
Yes, Frank. Yes, Your Honor. So I'm not sure. We do have a plea agreement in this case, and the way that we came to the plea agreement, discussed at the time that it would be an appropriate resolution based on the factual and legal issues of this case. I know that separately there's a bond violation for us to address with the court today. I wasn't sure in which order the court would be willing to hear them.
To do what?
To either take a plea or to address a bond violation.
Well, I'm a bit reluctant at this point to take the plea because of the bond violation. I'm also, I will say that, I mean, what should happen here, quite frankly, is you should be remanded because we've been through this. So I read your letter. Tell me why I shouldn't do that with you.
Your Honor, I feel absolutely horrible. I sat right here and I cried when you allowed me to be released and gave me another opportunity upon. And I know that I violated that and I am owning that, but I did not do anything. I didn't get behind a wheel. I didn't do anything to hurt anyone or myself or any property.
Well, it does hurt yourself.
And exactly, it did. And it does hurt me, but I physically or to anyone or anything, I just want to say that it was a nonviolent act and I know it was wrong. And right now I am building from ground zero back in my life. And I'm really making strides, although this violation does not indicate that. 87 out of the 88 last days that I have not had dropped to drink.
What happened? What happened that day? I mean, what happened?
Can I just help facilitate just for a moment, Judge? We had a really long talk about this yesterday, and I was very blunt with Ms. Brown. And just from my initial perspective, and then if she wants to explain further, when she was in custody for 2 weeks and her La Casa advocate was here, we never did get to the bottom of this other thing. And I think we probably would have not worried about it a whole lot, but for the fact that you stepped down from a scram to a sober link and then she had a positive blow on Tuesday. So when she was released, her La Casa advocate was here in the courtroom and, did continue to assist her. But by that time, they had given away her bed. And that is common and that happens. She went to stay and she explained all that in her letter, what she did subsequent to that. She's been trying to get back into La Casa. I met with her and her La Casa advocate yesterday. They're anticipating that a bed will be open anytime. And she's been staying in a motel. But what that has to do with it is, honestly, she was doing so well in this entirely structured setting. And when she was released, she was unable to return to that same structured setting. And I think it just fell apart on her. And I understand everything that Your Honor had said to her previously. If I could, I don't think she even knows that I know the steps. I think she's, based on yesterday, this is a huge step one issue. Meaning first step of the program, admitting that she's powerless over alcohol and that her life has become unmanageable. This is one of the instances that often folks point to and say, see how unmanageable that made your life become. And I know she is grappling with her, she wants to be sober so badly. she doesn't want to be this person or someone who walks into a liquor store and buys alcohol because that's a go-to. It's been her go-to for 25 years, and she's tried very hard to put it down. And this is me coming to Miss Brown, accepting her cases on appointment, not knowing anything about her, and initially probably having the same view as everybody else, but getting to know her. I understand that she is trying so hard to keep it together, and where it may seem simple, to just simply not consume the alcohol. I know that she struggles every day with all of her past trauma, everything that's happened, everything going on presently. And it is hard for her to keep it together when she is not in a structured environment. And I really don't mean the jail, because I understand that's the next step for her. But she's within just inches of being able to come back into La Casa in that structured environment. And she went to meetings the last couple of days. She went to a meeting yesterday. She was not able to make it today. That's just due to a number of circumstances outside her control. But she is continuing to go to meetings every day. So that's my 2 cents for Miss Brown.
Anything you want to add?
Your Honor, I feel that being in an environment where I'm supported and structured, as opposed to being locked away for something that I'm not a threat to society for, that I will make much.
Hold on. Ms. Brown, but you are.
I hear you. I do. And I'm sorry.
Because, you know, when you say you're not a threat, you're drinking, you can't control it, right? And, you know, like you said, I mean, this time you didn't get behind the wheel, but what if you do? And at least 3 times before, 2 times before, maybe a third, you did.
Right now, I am understanding. I'm desperate to be in a better place than I'm at. And the way to obtain that is not by being locked in a jail, but by being in a supportive environment with therapy and with support through AA members and therapists and counselors and advocates, and being surrounded by people who are like-minded in the desire to stay sober and to better their lives. And that's where I am. I don't want anything worse for my life, but I don't think I'm going to be able to start building that sitting down there, over there, where down that way. And I honestly, I mean, the days that I have put in and the time and the work that I have put in, I think does show that the mistake that I made was huge. And I do not deny that, and I'm not minimizing it, but it's just a setback for me. It's not anything that's going to be productive. It's just going to just punish me for something I'm already kicking myself for, Your Honor. That's all. May I add, as far as driving, I do not have access to a car. And this last offense that we're initially here for, the Secretary of State did take my license at that point for 2 years. And that was a year and a half ago. I have had absolutely no, I've not been behind the wheel, and I have not had any, I've had proof of that by not pulled over or having anything. I was not pulled over because I wasn't behind the wheel, but I also wasn't, there's been no traffic violations for me since then. And that was before I knew of the charges that were brought to me. So I just wanted to add that. I do not have intentions of getting behind the wheel until I am legal to do so.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch you back to a scram, Heather. I'm not going to take your plea. I am going to adjourn this out to the 19th of 1 month with the admonition to you that you better hope it doesn't malfunction or anything along those lines. I'm not going to be listening to any of that. All right. If there's any indication that you're drinking, What the court's gonna do is we're gonna come get you. All right. And Miss Julian knows me, and I'm not gonna hear a whole lot more at all from you.
Understood. At this point,
So I'll adjourn it to the 19th, 9 a.m. or your Zoom invite indicate defendant is to report to community corrections before you leave here today, and you're to be placed on a scram teller.
okay.
We are extremely thankful to you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
This courtroom hearing unfolds as a deeply emotional clash between accountability, addiction, and the limits of judicial patience. What begins as a routine procedural discussion quickly transforms into a raw and uncomfortable confrontation with truth. The hearing opens with the defense attorney formally appearing on behalf of Holly Brown. The court is informed that there is both a pending plea agreement and a serious bond violation to address. From the very start, the judge makes it clear that the bond violation overshadows everything else. Normally, in situations like this, the expected outcome would be immediate remand into custody. The judge directly addresses Holly Brown after reviewing her letter and asks a pointed question that sets the tone for the entire hearing. Tell me why I shouldn't remand you. Holly's response is not defensive. Instead, it is emotional, vulnerable, and filled with remorse. She admits that when the judge previously gave her another chance and allowed her release, she broke down crying in this very courtroom. She acknowledges violating the bond conditions and takes responsibility for it. However, she emphasizes that her actions were nonviolent. She insists she did not drive, did not hurt anyone, and did not damage any property. The judge immediately challenges this framing. He interrupts her to clarify a crucial point. Even if no one else was harmed, her behavior absolutely harmed herself. The judge reminds her that self-destruction is still danger, and that danger matters to the court. At this point, the defense attorney steps in to provide context. She explains that Holly had been doing remarkably well in a highly structured recovery environment while in custody. However, upon release, the treatment facility bed she was expecting had already been reassigned, a common but devastating reality in recovery systems. Without that structure, Holly was forced to stay in a motel, isolated and unsupported. And that is when everything unraveled. The attorney explains that Holly's relapse did not come from defiance, but from instability. She had been moved from a CRAM alcohol monitor to a less strict sober monitoring system, and shortly after she tested positive for alcohol. This moment becomes central to the court's concern. The defense goes deeper, shifting the hearing from legal argument to human reality. Holly's alcohol addiction is not new. It spans more than 25 years. Alcohol has been her default coping mechanism through trauma, pain, and chaos. Asking her to just not drink oversimplifies a battle that she fights every single day. The attorney speaks candidly about recovery, referencing the first step of addiction treatment, admitting powerlessness over alcohol and recognizing how unmanageable life has become. This violation, she argues, is not proof of failure. It is proof of how fragile recovery can be without structure. Holly speaks again, her voice filled with desperation. She explains that jail is not rehabilitation for her. It is punishment without progress. She insists she needs therapy, counseling, meetings, and a community of people fighting the same battle. She says she wants sobriety more than anything and does not recognize the person. Addiction has turned her into the judge listens but does not soften. He delivers one of the most powerful moments of the hearing. He tells Holly that while he understands her struggle, she is a threat to society because she cannot control her drinking. Even if she did not drive this time, the risk remains. He reminds her that she has driven under the influence before, more than once, and the court cannot gamble on this time being different. Holly responds with humility, not argument. She admits her desperation to change and insists that she has already put in real work. She calls this violation a setback, not a refusal to comply. She explains that her driver's license was revoked long ago and that she has had no access to a vehicle, reinforcing her claim that she poses no immediate driving risk. After hearing everything, The judge reaches a firm but measured decision. He refuses to accept the plea agreement. Instead, he adjourns the case for 1 month and orders Holly to be placed back on ASCRAM alcohol monitoring device immediately. His warning is unmistakable and severe. If the SCRAM device shows even a hint of alcohol use, regardless of excuses or technical explanations, the court will issue an arrest order without hesitation. The hearing concludes with tension still hanging in the air. Holly has been given another chance, but this time it comes with absolute zero tolerance. This case is not just about a bond violation. It is about how the justice system balances compassion with responsibility, and how recovery is not a straight path, but one where every misstep carries real consequences. Asterisk, if this courtroom moment shocked you, hit the LIKE button so more people can see the truth behind the system. Subscribe now for real courtroom stories that expose lies, deliver justice, and reveal human reality. Comment below, do you think the judge made the right call, or should she have been jailed immediately?